بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا، وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا، إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. أسأل الله تبارك وتعالى أن يجعل نياتنا خالصة لوجهه الكريم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. I pray that everyone is doing well this morning. Today, and I started this habit a few weeks ago, that you notice the night after or the morning after the Black Imams Roundtable, I like to reflect on some of the things that were discussed on the Black Imams Roundtable, because one thing I don't think we have enough of is time to work out our concerns, because we have many concerns, we have many things we think about, many things we encounter, and we don't get a chance to really flush them out like we need to. So today, I wanted to have like an open mic session, right? Where you can share your views about the concerns that we talked, or the issues we talked about, right? So I want to hear you. And a lot of times when you're in the chat, you can't express yourself the way you want. So I like to open it up, bring you on, give you a chance to dialogue uh, about the issues that we talked about. And maybe when we get to some issues you might be concerned about that have other than what we talk about, we could talk about them. But the issues we talked about, I think, are important. And I think healthy exchange is important when it comes to solving our community issues and trying to, chart a path forward. So there were several issues uh, and that were brought up yesterday that I thought we should talk about. And especially, I would like to hear from their sisters. So we were talking about building strong and vibrant communities and what is necessary to do that. And one of the issues that came up, which is always a sticky issue for a lot of brothers, I don't know why, but it is, was the issue of the infamous 5,000, the infamous $5,000 dowry. Oh, that always is a sticker, right? Uh, so that kind of ruffled some feathers as normal. And the other issue was this unity among Ahl Sunnah. Which is one I honestly, everybody get their issues that they're stickers for them. That for me, that was something that stood out to me last night that I felt definitely needs to be addressed. Uh, so those were my two issues that were highlighted to me the most. Maybe you have others. Uh, so I want to open up with the one that was highlighted the most that I noticed was this $5,000 dowry. And I want to clarify myself on it. I never said that it should be an absolute non-negotiable requirement that for a brother to get married, he needs $5,000. I never said that. I never said that. And if someone understood that from me, I think they misunderstood me. So let me clarify myself. What I've seen as a Black Imam in my own community and other communities, I've saw too many irresponsible men, far too many. And in the area of marriage, I've seen men take advantage of the abundance of women and the lack of potential male spouses. And usually, I've seen those type of marriages where dowries have been so low. I've seen those marriages end the fastest. And I've seen the bad outcomes of such things. So myself, what I always initiated in my community was, and because we're African American, and I think sometimes we forget what it's like to be Black. Like, we don't know us. We know us. Like, I know you, bro, I'm from where you from. I know them games. I'm aware of them. I'm not some dude from the suburbs or something. I'm from the hood. That's game. I know it when I see it. So because of that, I've been very strict in this issue. I don't, look, if you're coming to me, you want me to be involved in your marriage, he's going to pay up. He's going to pay up. And when I say pay up, he's going to show some responsibility and some commitment to marrying you. If you want to give yourself away to someone who doesn't show any real potential of being a good husband, I don't want nothing to do with it, right? Nor what I suggested. So when I say 5,000, for me, that's a starting point to let me know this brother is serious, even if you don't got it. I've never seen a person serious about the sister, about marriage, about family, about building together, community, have an issue with this. The only ones I've seen having an issue with this is someone who's not really interested in all those things. All they want to do is fulfill their desires. This is the average. I'm not saying it's the absolute finals. The buck stop here. The buck stops here. But from what I've seen, this is common practice. And for me, I believe if we're talking about community, marriage is a central part of the community. Marriage is a central part of the community. And if you don't have marriages, good marriages, your community is going to suffer from that. Your children are going to suffer from that. So for me, that's why I say it. And brothers can quote all of, make marriage easy and blah, blah, blah. Listen, my brother, we're in America and life is real. Our sisters are up against a system that is designed to destroy them, and they need our support, both emotionally, financially, physically, mentally, spiritually. We have to be there for our women. And financial is a part of it. That's a part of the part of the life. So you can apply a concept that doesn't work in our country. The Sahaba didn't have to pay that much. Sahaba didn't have gas bills, electric bills, high rents, or reality. Some people got mortgages. This is stuff that's real. Student debt, loan, they got all this stuff going on. Medical expenses, health insurance. The Sahaba didn't have to deal with all that stuff. We do. So let's keep it real, man. I mean, we want to live like, we're in the time of the Salaf. We're not in the time of the Salaf. It's not real. So we may have a conviction of the time of the Salaf, but our reality is definitely not that, right? I remember when I went to Yemen, and we went to visit some of the houses of the great scholars of the family of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And I was looking at their houses. I'm like, these people live so simple. No wonder they ain't need no money. I said, our poor don't live like this. I'm talking about the working poor. Our working poor don't live like that. So for me, I just think that's important. But so I'm going to start there before I go to the next point. If anyone has some comments and thoughts, especially the sisters, the brothers are welcome too. I would like to hear from you. Join in. Or you can just type. But I'll give you a second. Join in. I would like to hear your thoughts on what I mentioned. So sisters, what say you, as they say? And brothers, what say you? Do y'all think such a bar is really a lot? Mm-hmm. Okay. Boom. Where's all the brave talkers? we see y'all coming in. Subhanallah. Okay. So I guess we have an agreement on that. Maybe those who differed don't differ anymore. He said, in this day and age, a good Muslim man will get overlooked because he has no money. I don't think so. But the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam praised the man who works by his hand. So a good Muslim man should also be a good worker, right? That's the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So even if he doesn't have money, he should always be working toward acquiring a decent livelihood. That's sunnah too. That is what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned. And if you have a family, it's fard. It's an obligation upon you. So if you want to get married, it's a fard for you to get some money. You can't just say, I don't have any money. That's not valid. You have to go get some. You have to go out and earn. You have to learn the necessary skills to earn money, right? That's an obligation. You can't sit around and say, I'm broke. That's not Islamically valid. You have to go learn some money. Ibrahim, welcome, Sayyidi. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, Sheikh Imam.
Go ahead, Habibi. You're live.
Alhamdulillah. I agree totally that there should be a bar
You're
in
from the
general.
UK, I
But
hear
then I
it.
also think that one of the best relationships as an example was that of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and
Sallallahu
Khadija
alayhi wasallam.
radiallahu anhu. I think some men who are good Muslim men, socially, I think what the West has done to the black man has stopped the social mobility and progression more so than the women. We see that a lot of women in the black and Asian communities, academically, they are making it happen, professional and career wise, they're making it happen. So therefore, their peers, what I see in the UK anyway, I'm not sure about the US, I see a lot of good women, they're going for men who are comparable to them as drug dealers and the such people who look like they've got the same as they've got, but in terms of deen and the rest of it, they're not they're not matching and they're not making up.
Let me ask you a question. Do you find, and this is what I find, especially
Sorry, you might hear my daughter in the background.
no problem. Well, we find here, and I know from my side in the US, that is the case where a lot of women, especially in the black community, women are having higher educational achievements and some are having higher paying jobs in general, not every case, but that is a dominant feature we find in the community. But what I also find is that those women, they do have that Khadija nature, but sometimes we find men, unfortunately, that don't have the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam nature, where
Agreed.
the narrative that Khadija was willing to give her wealth, but the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam doubled her wealth. Think about that part. Khadija gave her wealth, but the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam doubled her wealth.
Subhanallah.
You follow my point? So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a certain type of man, and Khadija's wealth was used to further the mission of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, assist the mission of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a model man for Khadija and everyone else in his community, right? So that part, I think sometimes when our brothers they talk about Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they don't
mm,
talk about it from his character.
mm,
So
mm,
if we look at it, say, well, Khadijah was like this. Well, Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was like this. So we want the
mm.
women to match Khadijah. How are we going to match Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in our emulation? You
It's
follow what I mean?
agreed. 100% agreed. I think, men have a responsibility to teach women Islam, and I think the women, should also be looking at. I know, because of the body clock and stuff like this, this ticking, and they want a man, and sometimes they get, so a myopic view, of what the man should be doing, But if the man ain't praying 5 times a day, if the man ain't doing sunnah actions, if he's not fasting, if he's not doing these things, don't think this man is going to change to be like the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. you know don't, yeah, so alhamdulillah,
Yeah, it's
definitely
good.
agree.
We appreciate it, Sayyidi. Where are you? You in the UK? What part of the UK?
I'm in the second city of Birmingham.
Birmingham. Barakallahu bik. May Allah reward you and your family, inshallah. And we hope to hear from you more, inshallah.
Thank you, Sheikh.
Jazakum
Alhamdulillah.
Allahu khaira. Uh, so we appreciate our brother. Are any of the sisters or any brothers have any statements toward that? Uh, I think this is an important subject. I'm watching some of it. MashaAllah. I like to engage, if y'all don't notice that. uh, Sometimes I want to hear from you. I want to hear your thoughts. So here is a point Tanweer made, right? Hussein, when you gonna get on the mic and stop talking from the crowd? I don't think the amount of dowry is a problem. I just think the focus is wrong. It should be more on his ability to provide, protect, problem solve, and ongoing. And I think that's what the women are looking for. I was thinking about a sister. If she don't mind coming on, you just spoke. I was thinking about you the other day. I was actually talking about you in a good way, right? Uh, if you don't mind jumping in the conversation, Sister Nora, I'm gonna put this link up. I want to ask you something. I think you have uh, the courage and the ability to articulate this well. If you don't mind, Sister Nora, uh, because I was talking about you, and I'll tell you related to this. I think if we find successful women, right, who have a good career, education, right, they're not worrying about necessarily how much money the person makes. I think they're more concerned. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You're multitasking. All right. I think, you can just answer this too, and other sisters as well. I think they're concerned what you're talking about. What is the ability for this brother to provide, protect, problem solve, be a good husband, cater to my emotional needs? And I think all those, they're looking for that. And they're willing to forego certain other things if the person can show that type of potential. When we look at the dowry, I think that's a sign that he's not willing to do those things. That's my point. If you're talking about a dowry, even if you worked at McDonald's, forget another place, even the person who worked at McDonald's, right, has the potential to elevate himself. Do you remember the McDonald's commercial they used to have back in the day when they was trying to target black folks to work at McDonald's? What was the guy's name? The boy, he started out at McDonald's, then he went to college, and I think he ended up owning the McDonald's in the commercials one day. What was his name? I know that y'all watch those McDonald commercials. Calvin. Yeah, remember Calvin? So a woman wants a Calvin, right? Right? I don't think it's all just about how much money you have right now. It is your potential to being responsible and accountable. And I think that dowry for me is a bar, right? And where it may go less for some, it may go less for some, it may go more for others, right? But I think if the idea is that, listen, uh, this is where I'm at and this is where I'm going to stay, should our women be subject to that? Really? I mean, if they want to do that, that's their choice. But I'm talking about, should we make it that the brother just gets off the hook for having no get up and go? And is that something as a community we should accept? Right? Because I'm telling you, as an imam, absolutely not. I don't even want a guy like that in my community. I don't. Go to the other masjid. For real, go to the other masjid. I'm not saying don't come to the masjid. You should go to that one if you want to lay around and be a bum. If you don't want to excel, I need people who's trying to build something. Seriously, I don't want a bunch of people who's sitting around talking about something. Let's just do dhikr. Look, we have to do jihad. Straight up. I don't want a bunch of men around me who don't want to be men. I don't. Now, someone say, oh, what kind of imam? The one who don't want no chumps around them. That's the kind. I don't want them around me. I don't. I'll give you some advice, but take that stuff down the street. I'm being honest. Not with all we have to do, right? All we have to do, we need men. Seriously, we need men. And I'm talking about men who are willing to sacrifice and build. And I think that's what women are looking for. Right? And I think for us, we keep skipping this issue. Like we babies. We're not babies, we're men. Right? And men have take care of responsibility. That's a man. And I don't think this idea of, listen, I go to other communities, right? I mix a lot, right? If you hear some of the dowries that men are paying in America, Muslim men that are not in our community, you would be shocked. They pay up. And it's not even a discussion. And we find in ourselves that we make excuses for a guy who don't want to do nothing. Right? And I think that's a problem for us. I mean, that's, like I said, it's only my thoughts. I don't have to be right. But I know for sure if my daughter comes to me with a guy who's complaining about a dowry, I'm going to tell him to get lost. Straight up. Because if he's a good practicing Muslim, he'll do what he got to do. And I'll help him, right? But if that's an issue for him, I don't care what it is. If that's an issue for him, nah, bro. Sorry, not here, right? I don't see it. Now he may not have it, and we may have to go on a plan how we gonna get it. And I'm gonna work with him to do that, right? And I'm not talking about the $5,000 number. I'm not whatever it may be, right? Even if it was less. But if I see in him the uh, lack of desire to excel and be better than where he's at, man, I don't want him to be the father of my grandchildren. La, no, that's not what I'm looking for my future, right? But I wonder, are we on the same page? Because that is a reflection in the communities. I'm telling you, it's a big reflect. If that's in the marriage, trust me, that's going to be in the masjid, that's going to be in the community, that mentality. And I don't know if that's something we should settle for. And I know I'm not settling for that. Uh, okay. Issa, where you at? Come on, man. Come on. I need to hear from you. So do y'all get the point? It's not about $5,000. Am I clear? It's about responsibility. That's what I'm really reaching at. Even if a person don't have $5,000, for the one who's responsible, come on, Issa. I need to hear from you. Am I clear? Who's saying, hey, that's your opinion. You know that's where you at. And and I hope you're a good brother, and I pray to you're good with your family, and I hope you do what you do, and I hope Allah give you a good wife, or you have the excellent wife. But I think that's where me and you just have to disagree, right? Because if a man is responsible, he's not going to get no defiant, disobedient woman. So, right? If he's responsible, he's not going to even select a woman like that. So, I don't even know if that's a discussion, right? And listen, I remember my dad used to say something to me, right? What happened? Me and my father-in-law was talking about men. Whatever happened to the strong black man, right? You remember coming up, the black man could have a low-paying job, but he was a man. Really, whatever happened to that man? You remember that man used to come in with calluses on his hands, and he was a man. He might have been breaking his back all day, but when he came home, he was a man. Whatever happened to him among us? It's a serious, like, la ilaha illallah. Where is that man at? I don't care if my wife made triple what I made. I'ma always be a man in my house. I don't get it. I don't care if she made triple what I make. I'm always gonna be the man of my house. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Right? Go ahead, Sheikh Issa.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
We can hear you clear. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I think this conversation, it reminds me of when y'all were on the Dope Muslim Women podcast. It's like a trigger for certain brothers. Um, it's just that concept is triggering. And when something is triggering somebody, definitely the chat is not designed. For somebody for most people to represent themselves, authentically represent themselves. It's not designed for normal a normal brain function. It's just not designed for that. If somebody wanted to, um, really authentically represent themselves, they need to come on. Otherwise they're just gonna be in the chat and it's gonna cause more problems. Or they just need to, like people say, hush until you heal. Because
Hush until you heal.
yeah, because if that's the problem, if you worried about that dowry and a woman, doing you wrong because of that, then you're gonna be wrong. You'll be worried about a woman doing you wrong, no matter what the dowry was. We have to get to a point where we have more confidence in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that that He's going to um help us get that right woman, no matter what the dowry was. But if you're worried about the woman doing you wrong because of dowry, it shows some deeper issues that somebody really need to heal from. You know what I mean? And they're just gonna be continue to be triggered. Um, that so.
Let me ask you a question, right? And I think sometimes these discussions are important, especially when we're talking about relationships, right? I'm a man, you a man. I've been scarred in relationships with women. Have you not been?
Yeah, for sure.
Did that take you off the market and make you not want to do nothing for women?
No.
Because it didn't do it for me. Right? So I've been hurt, I've been scarred, but I never took that woman as a reflection of every other woman.
Right.
That was that woman, her particular issues, whatever they may be, that didn't coincide with my issues, and it didn't work. And that was that, right? To this day, I don't think the woman I couldn't get along with, not a good woman for somebody else, it just wasn't a match for me, right?
Right.
I personally, I think she was a good Muslim, is a good Muslim, has great potential, and maybe I just wasn't what she needed. Do you follow my point? So I don't walk around like all women are. No, maybe I wasn't the man for her, and she just happened not to be the woman for me. And that's where I stop it at. But the next encounter for me worked out, right? And I'm extremely happy. I am overwhelmingly happy in every aspect of my life and my relationship, right? Extremely happy. So that for me, that's a sign, right? I don't know if I can get a better wife. I don't know. I'm not saying they don't exist, but hey, boy, I don't know, bro. You see my people, right?
Yes, sir.
They down, So what about you? That's my feeling.
Well, yeah, that just shows that you had a level of accountability that allowed you to move on healthily, and a lot of brothers must not be there, because you have to just look, you have to look at yourself also, like, okay, like you said last night, what are you doing? What are you doing to keep attracting these certain type of women, where you having these problems in these relationships, somebody has to look at themselves, like, what am I doing? Put the focus on themselves. If you're in therapy, you got a good therapy. The therapist is not going to be focusing on other people. He's going to be focused on what can you do to accept your shortcomings and what's holding you back, so you can work on those and change those. If anybody else is brought into the discussion, is to bring the focus back on what you need to do and not to focus on what somebody else is doing. So that's showing. You mean with some of the reactions when brothers being triggered, it's showing that they need to work on themselves. You mean because
Hey,
somebody that's confident, you mean they're not going to be deterred by this issue, whether they believe, whether they're on your side as far as your arguments or not. They're not going. A confident brother is not going to be deterred by um this topic. You mean they
hey,
either gonna be
Greg.
for it or not. You mean they're gonna be okay. They're not gonna be worried about it. You know what I mean they're not gonna really get involved into it because it's something that's just gonna be, it's something that's just gonna like a merry-go-round. It's something that just keeps going in circles.
Hey, Issa, does this sound familiar? Now Hussein is coming clean. Look, hey, Hussein, I don't mean to laugh at, but I'm gonna tell you something about me, Hussein, so you know about me. I'm kind of rough around the edges, bro, big time. So I do understand that, right? And I have a certain nature, and sometimes that pour over, right? So I don't mean to laugh. Honestly, I don't. But I smelt this, right? That you've been wronged and you taking that on all women. Not all women, but the women in your area or your environment or your marriage pool. Bro, there are good sisters that are dead serious. And what you should work on more than worrying about the sisters, this is just my advice to you. Be that good brother, right? Be that good brother. You don't got to be arrogant, but you got to be a good brother, right? You got to be a good brother. And when I say this, I believe I work hard to be a good brother, right? I live in a way to try to be a good brother. I got a lot of shortcomings, but I work hard on myself, right? So I know for sure that there are sisters that are doing the same thing, right? And sometimes it's just timing, right? When y'all connect. Sometimes it's just, you can come in, you never late. Come on in, Khadijah. You're welcome. Come say something. This is open mic. You ain't late. You can come in. So I'm just saying from that side, you can't, yeah, you can't Hussein, I wish we could talk, man. I wish you stop hiding in the comments and come on in here and let's have a real conversation. We men.
Yeah.
Talk, kick it. It's cool. I ain't gonna attack you. I might hit you with a couple lumps, but that's all love.
Right.
And I
Because
expect you to do the same to me, right? I can take it just like I give it out,
if,
right?
if he
Go
if he
ahead.
comes if he comes on and expresses himself on here, he will find that he'll be able to more authentically represent himself than in the comments.
Right, he'll get his point across
Yeah.
because maybe sometimes you just can't go back and forth.
Uh
All right, let's hold on, Issa. Don't go nowhere because you're my therapist for the day.
huh.
Khadijah, what say you?
Assalamu alaikum.
Well,
Can you hear me well?
did you get permission from your parents before you start talking?
I wanted to say that something to address is that very few of us was raised with strong black male leadership. So the men who, I mean, obviously, like clearly, were not raised with that. Like sometimes outwardly they would try to make it look like that when it's not inwardly. So they will always have problems with something that will require them to be a man about. And I see that. I was raised to be a woman, but I was also raised to know what a man looks like and the effort he will be willing to put in for a family, the work he's willing to put in. So I don't just accept whatever. I don't accept the okie doke. Okay. And with that, that's what I wanted to mention. Also, what is like these men's definition of good woman? Because a lot of them were probably raised with a single mother, so they were raised with seeing a woman slaving around the house, doing stuff, putting in the work she did not have to put in because she had no other choice, stuff that took away from her femininity. Like a lot of this unrealistic expectations for us black women is put onto us because of that. You want a balance of a super strong, air quotes, strong woman who is putting in all the work that you're supposed to put in, but you also want the traditional feminine woman. It don't work that way.
Man, that's a
That's the
strong
only thing.
point. Now let me ask you something quick. So I got two Khadijas. I'm talking to the young Khadija, the king of the 3-4-5-3 show, youth. Khadija. So you said brothers want this strong woman yet submissive woman. How do you reconcile the two? Because if we look at Khadija, the wife of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she had both those components. She was a go-getter and she was submissive to her husband. So that can be accomplished. So how do you reconcile you saying brothers want that? Isn't that possible? And if they shouldn't get it, why?
No, what I'm saying when I say like the strong, I put strong in air quotes because it's like you want a woman to take care of everything you're supposed to take care of too. You want you want them to do the work of the man and the woman at the same time and above and beyond that, because that's what they saw from their own mothers doing work that other people should have done, and they like something they had to do themselves. Now I believe that that kind of imbalance takes away from a woman's femininity. So if you want that kind of super strong woman, so you don't got to do any work or whatever, so you don't got to have responsibility, then you don't expect a feminine woman to come out of that. Don't expect that. And a feminine woman, there could be an independent feminine woman. Independent does not mean hyper independent. Like I don't need a man kind of independent. You can have a feminine independent woman, but that's different from the hyper independent woman, what that you also want to be submissive and feminine.
Okay. Khadija, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam
Khadija,
rahmatullah.
what you say?
I came in late because, I'm reading The Value of Time. And so my time was spent in a Quran class. So I jumped in and I heard what was going on. And I'm like, okay, so I'm 47. So and like I said, from New York. So I've seen all realms of what we determine submissive. I've seen women who like my mom is extremely, and shukran for the dua because she's doing so much better, alhamdulillah. She is extremely strong, but she's also vulnerable. And I think that word in our community, vulnerable, is super duper, it's almost gone just because of systemic oppression. Because the Black man has always had to, and I don't know if it was spoken about earlier, so if I'm repeating, excuse me. Black men, African American men that were brought over from Africa onto the North American continent, as you said before, whatever we want to call ourselves, have been the Black family has been systemically designed by other people to disintegrate. It has been systemically designed to not work because of how the man was always humiliated and emasculated in front of her. And so because of that, there is a breakdown in the family. From young, I've always understood by Allah's grace, divine order. And there is a divine order to marriage. There is a divine order to the world, period. And because of our communities having this this shift in where the man is supposed to be, there has been an issue time and time again. So there's this internal conflict and struggle between Black men and women on who's stronger and who's not. And so you bring in Islam. And Khadija, like you said, Khadija radiallahu anha, she balanced that out perfectly. even, I mean, she even made Aisha radiallahu anha jealous because of how much he loved her, because she had the balance. She had a balance of being submissive. Shoot, she put the blanket around his shoulders and was like, all right, what are we doing next? I'm down. What are we doing? You went up, you came up. My cousin already told us we get ready to do this. What are we going to do? That's that down for. But then she also was business minded. And so there is a way for us to balance it, but we have to take, and I said it last night and I said it a couple of other times, we have to take ego out of it. We have to take our ego out of it, and we have to put Allah in it. And Allah has given us this divine structure so that everybody has their place. He used to mend his socks. He used to do things. He used to play with the children and wrestle with the children. He'd go in his pocket, take out coins and stuff for the kids. And he was vulnerable with his wives. There's nothing wrong with that. But the dynamic of our community is, if a black man is vulnerable, because white men, all other kind, they can cry in front of people. They can be that. Black man, if you cry, you're a sissy, you're a punk. From young, when you guys fall, get up, be a man. How come I have to be a man and my leg is all scraped up? Like, what? How come I can't cry? So there's this identity crises, if you will, with our men, that we all have to work on. We have to work on it. And so the brother, may Allah give him peace, that is, he's clearly been hurt. I've been hurt by men, but also understand that that thing with generational curses, it goes all the way back. And so if I put those things on somebody else, then that person doesn't have a chance to heal. So even if I've had a struggle with someone, and it was a almost toxic struggle, I still have to give them the benefit of the doubt, because you guys are not able to be vulnerable in the world. You're not. For you to cry on screen, somebody would say something like, oh, he don't got it together. When I see that, I'm like, okay, he's working on who he is. And so as Muslims, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's the best example, and he gives me hope in black love. And I know I shouldn't say that, but when I was talking to an imam, about finding a husband, I have married outside of, my last husband was white, and we're divorced. But I said to the imam, I'm intelligent, I'm dope. By Allah's grace, I'm a dope female. And I need to give that to a black man. And I need for him to be able to build himself and see that another black woman thinks you're dope too. So I'm probably going off tangent or off course, but I'm just saying that these are the kind of conversations we have to have amongst each other, because if we don't see ourselves as beautiful, if we don't see our marriages as hopeful, who's going to see it? The Arab people, they don't want to marry us. Be real. They don't want to cross. They'll cross with white people, because I've seen it my whole life. I've been Muslim. My mom became Muslim when I was 6. So I've been Muslim my whole life, because my pen was lifted at 6. So I've been Muslim my whole life. And so I've seen it where we'll go to marriages of Indo-Pacs and they're marrying white people. Let them even try. Let a black Muslim try and marry somebody. Are you kidding me? So
let me ask you a question. You just opened up.
I'm sorry. I mess up?
Hey. That's why I asked you to come talk. If we just got to have a conversation, it's fine with me. Listen, there's several things why. For me, so why I don't mind you talking. See, I got Issa over there. He don't like to talk. GCC's here. You just opened up a can of worms. I hope you know that, right?
I always do, and that's fine.
All right.
That's what my mother's name is, Sauda. You know who Sauda was in Islamic history. She was that one that was like, I mean, hey, I'll give up my nights, but I'm gonna stay his wife. Like, stop playing. Like, I'm down for community. Like, if I gotta say it, I gotta say it.
That's why I have these discussions, because I do realize the black communities in the crisis, especially the black Muslim community, and we're going extinct. right? And we can make all the excuses we want. That's a reality. And all you gotta do is travel the country, and maybe most of us don't do a lot. I do a lot of traveling. We in trouble, right? And I know the big imams, African American imams, all around the country. I know them. We're in trouble, no doubt about it, right? So these conversations are necessary because, and they can't be in the closet because we don't meet in the closet. We got to come out, right? And we're going to engage one another. But I got to go in there because it opened. What? Look at her face. Hey, when you
No,
come
it's
online,
I'm not scared. I'm just saying, oh, okay, here
everything goes.
you
right?
know, it's what I do.
Honest, no judgment, but an honest question.
Yes.
No judgment. What made you marry a white guy?
It's so funny because, and everybody says that because of how I am. To be honest, it's my and I'm super transparent about things. So any conversation you want to have, I'm like super open. It's just we have to be open with each other. Having said that, I honestly I had divorced my first husband. I was married when I was 18, and we stayed married for 7 years, and and it just didn't work. And so when I moved to Baltimore in 99, I met him. I met, my second husband, and I knew that with the trauma that I have been through in my life, and again, I'm super transparent. He was, it was a safe space for me, and I knew that nothing would happen to my daughter. I knew in my heart, Allah allowed me to see that nothing would happen to my daughter. And so it was a safe space for my daughter. He's a cool guy, that you can see the privilege. I'll just say that. He definitely, you can see the privilege in him, but he was a cool guy, and I knew that my daughter was going to be safe because Allah put it in my heart to, but it wasn't for me. It was just, I knew that my daughter was going to be safe. I have 2 beautiful daughters from it, alhamdulillah, and may Allah keep my children in Islam. But that was my main reason. It was a struggle for me to even say yes, because I was like, I felt like I was giving up on Black men. I really did. Like, I felt like I was kind of giving up. But then I thought about just, this, again, the safety of my daughter. And again, he's a cool guy. So
I get distracted sometimes with all the comments because it go wild out there in the comment world, right?
I'm one of them. I don't know if you see me, but I'm one of them.
They just go, right? So if I heard you correctly, among the things that push you to that was trauma. Did I hear that correctly?
I'll say trauma, but not from it didn't have anything to do culturally. It had everything to do with me and my daughter. So yes, that trauma, me safeguarding my daughter
and
from anything that I have
Black man, you mean? That trauma came through a Black man?
It came through, but it honestly, like I said, it came through one, but that wasn't it. For me, it was just about safeguarding and safe space for my daughter.
Because many sisters, I've heard this discussion more than once, right?
Yeah, I can't see the comments because I'm inside of this space. Because I'd be answering them too.
Say, Qul alhamdulillah. Say alhamdulillah. You can't see the comments.
I'm gonna go back to the recording because I gotta look and see what y'all were talking about beforehand. So I gotta see what that was about, and I'm gonna see it.
But here's my point. I hear a lot of sisters, and I know a lot of. By the way, brothers, I have some good, nice sisters that are looking for a good husband. They got good jobs, they strong women, but finding a good Black man they're struggling with it for years, some over a decade, right? No,
And I
seriously.
still believe in you. And I still believe in you. I still believe in you. I don't care what happens. Any experiences I have, I still believe in Black men.
But some sisters have discussed that, right? And trust me, for a lot of the sisters that know, I be looking for good brothers for sisters. But brothers, unfortunately, we finding too many brothers that don't want no responsibility, right? I had a sister say to me, listen, all I need is for him to contribute $1,000 a month. That's it. And you know, brothers was like, why she need $1,000? You can't make this stuff up. She said, that's all I want from him, just to contribute $1,000 a month. And brothers was like, why she need $1,000? So, Asa, I want to ask you a question. Where did Khadijah go? She got blocked out. Asa, what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, all she said,
Huh?
my
About
thoughts on
what
what
she said.
exactly?
Huh?
So then what she said?
Yeah, what she said, Sister Khadijah.
Wow, I mean, yeah, that's like we need to meet halfway somehow, but like people are there's a disconnect because, you know, people aren't taking the steps to accept where they're at, you know what I mean? And you know, you gotta accept, you can't change nothing until you accept it. But you know, once we do that, then we can see, you know, it's a lot more opportunities for us to, you know, to make stuff work out there, you know what I mean? But you know, until then, we're going to think that that is just all bad, you know what I mean? But it's a lot more people willing to work with each other than we think, you know.
We have to put in the work.
Yeah.
We have to put in the work. I put in the work. You know, I am in therapy. I'm one of those rare people that is in therapy. I'm one of those rare people that I go to workshops for self-improvement. And I wouldn't say rare because I think now in our community, especially specifically the Muslim Black community, we're starting to see that there is, you know, it's not taboo to talk about trauma. It's not taboo to talk about mental health. It's not taboo to talk about having to fix things or rights or wrongs that were, you know, inflicted on us. So, you know, and I need somebody who's going to do that. I don't need I need somebody to match my dope. That's all. And I'm not
Match
saying
your
that he
who?
has to be super perfect. I'm just saying he got to match my dope. He can't be stuck inside of a space because Prophet Muhammad said, I don't know where these brothers get this stuff because he was dope. Like his wives had space. Like Aisha radiallahu anha she was a teacher. Like she stood in front of people. She when she broke that plate because the other wife brought it over trying to make, you know, sending stuff over. She broke that. She was like, no, it's not your time to be here. I'm not saying it was may have been the right way to do it, but she was clear, like, you're infringing on my time. Stop playing. So there are so many examples of we how we can right wrongs, and also that they were human too. They were human.
Okay, Khadijah, she's ready. I think she's got, and listen, Khadijah is the host or co-host. Are you the boss yet? Or no? The 3453 show. And really, I think this show gonna take off once they get it all together. So Khadijah, Abdullah, she's host, co-host, lead host of the 3453 show, which is every Sunday Eastern at 4 o'clock. I encourage you to support our youth, our young adults. I don't like to say youth because they are adults. and they have life experiences, and they're experiencing the world as it is, real time. So go ahead, Khadijah. I would like to hear what you had to say.
Okay, so I first off want to tell people in the comments to stop bugging. One thing is that when it comes to Black men and they're able to marry interracially and everything, and they're not told they're giving up on Black women. But when it comes to Black women, we even to each other, oh, you giving up on Black men? Stop that mess. Why are we expected to bear all that pain for what? Like, we really need to get it together, because why is us Black women expected to do all that? If a Black woman is ready to raise a family and to be that woman, and she wants to be in her peace, she's going to find a man that match that. And if that man just happens to be a non-Black man, it's what it is. That's my point of view on that.
Hold on, let me ask you a question. Hold your thought on that. That don't just fly like that. Stop right there, right? Listen. I get that. Okay. As Black men, Issa, come on, bail me out here, right? We've been hurt too. We've just like Black women, it go both ways. It swings both ways. So Black women feel the same way that Black men feel. They've been hurt, Black men been hurt. Black man can find another Black woman and be patient to look for that. Some Black men, not all. Why would the Black woman have to look outside the Black man? I mean, like, aren't there?
Remember, there was a big push. I know when I was, where Black men were going over to Morocco and finding wives and stuff like that, and there are women like right here. I think there's still that stuff going on where they're going outside of.
But that's not, would you say that's all Black men?
I'm not all Black men, but there was.
Why couldn't we find? This is just a legitimate question. Why couldn't we find the Black men who were good Black men who were not doing that?
I wanted to say, because like I mentioned before, when a woman is ready and a man is presented to her that can complement that, that's what she's gonna go with. A lot of times, like women, like whenever one thing I tend to notice is that when we actively like try to seek for this 1 in a million man, how often do women run into walls finding men that that outwardly try to be that kind of man, but isn't like that inwardly. So when we just finally rest and say, hey, if this man, and pray to Allah, like, hey, if this man that can compliment me come along, that's who I'm a marry. And if that man just happen to be a non-Black man, then that's how it is.
Okay, I mean,
but that's a fact. But that's the same way for and this is I like toting the middle. I don't like going either way, left, right. I am not a feminist, and I'll probably be like dinged for this, but Prophet Muhammad SAW was the greatest advocate for women ever. So when we talk about feminism, all this other stuff is out the window. It could go the same way for Black men, but for Black women, but it's the same thing. It's because of hurt. It's because of hurt. And it's because sometimes we don't identify it. It's because we don't address it. It's because we've been taught not to hang our dirty laundry outside, which I don't want to hang my dirty laundry outside, but it's because we're programmed to keep everything inside. And it goes back to slavery. When you look at how we deal with our children in public, we tell them, be quiet, sit down, and I'm not saying it's wrong, but you'll see other cultures and their kids, Johnny is running through, knocking stuff off the shelves, and they're like, oh, Johnny is just learning and thriving. You'll have other cultures where the men have these long ponytails and long beards and long hair and all this stuff, but let you come unclean. So now you're looking unkempt. So there is a dynamic and there's a dichotomy in society that it's put it on us. And I agree, Sister Khadija, that wherever you find love, if it is halal love, and if it's something that brings joy to your soul and it brings you closer to Allah Azza wa Jal, rock on, do it.
Now, let me ask you a question with that. I agree, right? I agree. Love is where you find it, right? But on a communal level, that's an individual level, right? On a communal level,
That's different.
when you're looking at the condition of our people,
Mm-hmm.
as you mentioned, the systemic racism and social engineering within our communities, don't we have a responsibility as Black men and women to empower and develop within our own culture? Isn't that
Absolutely,
a communal
without
responsibility
question,
that
because
we should consider?
you don't lose your, and I think this was a conversation. And Sister Khadija, I apologize because I come from a woman who she was, before her, she'll probably kick me, but she was an opera singer before she became Muslim. So I'm just over, like, she's been an orator, so it's just who I am. So if you need, just pluck me and go, like, stop talking, I need to say something. But
Hey, we family, we black people.
right. Our
Go
community,
for it.
it's pivotal for us to try to be inside of our community. But when we do not address the ills, when we do not address the trauma, when we do not address the self-hate that goes on in our community, then it of course, where people are going to look outside, because you look outside sometimes because you don't want to look in a mirror. So you look the other way. If it's facing a mirror and you don't like what you see, you turn away from the mirror. And so when I look at you, Imam, when I look at you, Isa, when I look at you, Khadija, I'm looking at myself, because this is where we are us. And sometimes when you're not willing to put the work in, and I'm very much an advocate for putting the work in. When you don't put the work in, and sometimes it's not somebody's fault or anything if they don't want to put the work in. Sometimes people don't know how. I didn't know how to put the work in. I didn't know that I had to work on myself so that I can see the beauty in me and my people. So absolutely, I honestly, you don't have to lose your blackness because you're Muslim, but ours is a very different blackness, because Africans come over and they don't necessarily want to be us because they see the stuff that's going on. So our blackness is very different from anybody else's in the world, because we were taken away. We were taken away from what we were used to. And so now we're trying to find a new norm. And so that's why, again, I'll make it ding, but a lot of people take on Arab culture. A lot of people take on Indie culture. A lot of people take on, because our culture, they make our culture seem like it's chitlins and collard greens. That's something that we were forced to have to do. I mean, collard greens are bomb. Like, I love collard greens. I'm just saying, but it's stuff that we had to do. And so because we're now creating or developing a culture for ourselves, now it's deemed wrong, but ours is a unique issue in our community.
Let me ask you a question. See, because I'm not talking theory. I'm talking like real on the ground reality.
That's
right?
real. I'm just speaking sounding theory.
No. What I'm talking about far as us, because I want y'all to address the responsibility we have to our community, right?
So I'm in Baltimore City.
After trauma, especially Baltimore City.
So,
right. So, like,
I'm in Baltimore City.
What about that responsibility to our community as a Black woman, as a Black man? What message do we send
I got you.
to our children when we apparently, even if that's not internally, outwardly, when we make it appear, even if that's not how we feel, that we're a lost cause, go somewhere else?
No,
I said, no, I'm not saying that's how you feel internally. I'm talking about what it will look like. Because if you look at the comments, you have Black women saying, how they say, all hell to the no, right? So there's a reason why they said that. And if they would like, let me put the link.
So are they saying, like, because I can't see it. Are they?
I know, I'm sharing it with you.
Yeah,
I'm glad you can see it.
Thinking that I'm speaking against us because
No.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to our group out there.
Okay.
It's hard in those Facebook streets.
Okay.
They just go for it. But here's my point. That's a feeling, right? I don't care what is going on. I'm not leaving my people. That's a feeling. I think beyond that feeling, it may be. I can't speak for the person. They have to speak for themselves, and they're welcome. Let me put the link. You're welcome to speak for yourselves, because this is a conversation we need to have, right? Long as we're constructive. I mean, I don't mind if somebody's going to get disrespectful, I'm going to block them, right? But if we're just talking, it's cool with me, right? Because no one's trying to hurt nobody. We're talking and healing and building, and it's good for us, right? But some sisters, they're like, no, I'm not doing that. And there's a reason why they say that.
They're not doing what?
I wouldn't go outside my race.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Like, there's a reason. They can speak for themselves.
Absolutely.
But my reason for it is because I feel that I have a responsibility to my community.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean the other one doesn't feel that way. I'm speaking myself. So even despite bad relationship that didn't work out, more than one, we're Black. We go through it sometimes, right? I never considered, I ain't say I never desired, but I never thought to myself that it ain't good Black women.
Neither did I. I didn't consider that, because my first husband, it wasn't a trauma brought on by him that it happened to me. It was just, and that's why I said I'm not attributing it to a cultural thing of the trauma. It is that person, whatever those people had within them, it was their thing. And I never, people, I don't even know everybody out here, but people that know me know that that was a struggle for me. It was a struggle for me, but I love being the face of, you are so pro community. How did you do that? Even people that know me, and when they see my ex-husband, when he picks the kids up, they go, how did that happen? Where did that happen, Angela Davis? How did you do that? And and that's what they say.
Facebook streets, they wild.
Yeah, because from the community that I grew up in, like, we literally used to protest. We got drug dealers off the corners. Like, we did stuff. My mom, like I said, my mom, we had, we were Sunni, I guess, all of the wordings, but we had a catering business. We serviced hospitals, jails, schools, everything. So I understand what it means to have cooperative economics. I understand what it means to stand by Black people. I just, it's what it was. And there was like I said, there was a safe space there for my daughter. And so sometimes, people that say, oh, hell no, I can never do that, or whatever they say, don't, be careful, because Allah will put you in a situation and you'll be, because that's what I used to say. I'll never. And Allah said, okay, well, let's see. So you do that if you want to. Say what you want to say, but your struggles are not someone else's struggles. And that's why I try and stay tote the middle and not judge.
But now, what? Now, here's my thing, Asa. I want to ask you, because you had your marriage Achilles heel being damaged. Why you not? Why? What made you, or have you considered going outside the Black woman, or are you committed that I got to get me a Black woman?
I think I definitely, if I'm sincere, really sincere, and really, taking consideration the reality of what we're doing and what needs to be done, then I got to marry a Black woman. Because in my city, the work is, nobody's here to do the work. You know what I mean? Nobody's here to do the work. Nobody wants really, nobody has really embraced what we are trying to do. As far as traditional Islam, Alo Sunni wal Jamaat, you know. So
Yeah.
I definitely need somebody, you mean, that's going to be of our people, that's going to be ready to, you mean, support me doing that work, which only we can do, you know what I mean? Of only we can count on our people to do, you know. I need somebody that understands our reality, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
there's a lot more there's a lot more that I need to be doing, you know what I mean, to be able to, you know what I mean, to get fulfill my obligations and, you know what I mean, and help make a change, you know what I mean. So I definitely need a black woman, black sister, you know what I mean. Somebody understands our situation, understands our reality, doesn't have an escape, you know what I mean. They can't go somewhere else, you know what I mean. They don't have a home somewhere else with, you know what I mean. This is what they have, you know what I mean. This is what they have. This is their reality, you know what I mean. They can't escape from that. So
I mean, this wasn't it just when you, sister, the older Khadijah, when you said that, it like sparked a bunch of comments. Boom, 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 boom. So I wanted to address it because it's realities. You ain't the first one I've heard say that, nor are you the first one I know who did that, right? And so it was just a understanding of why. All right, Khadijah,
Yeah. Okay.
go ahead.
Can I say also to all these black men that was yesterday complaining about paying 5K to black women? I'm surprised. Like, I mean, with how they were acting, I'm surprised more black women aren't like, you know what, non-black men may be the choice because these men bugging. But also, you don't stop being black just because you are not married black. Okay, like, so black, you mean to tell me that a black woman can do like more for the community than all these pro-black people be doing? All these pro-black Muslims be in the comments saying, I can't get only black this, only black that, but don't want to do nothing for the black community. You saying a woman who is married to a white man who does way more for her people than the ones who so pro-black, you mean to tell me that she not like her blackness doesn't qualify because she's not married black? The thing is that if you want to show that black love kind of leadership, then you be that example, but don't sit there and beat on somebody else because what you seeing is like honestly, I saw some comments where it's like, oh, it's disgusting. Like, one, that's your sister. You're not going to be talking to your sister. Like, that's like, what's wrong with you? You know, she's a human being and she's still your sister. It's not like she's not black no more. It's not like she's not human no more. Like, she's still your sister. So it's like she's doing more for her people than you have ever done for your people. But yet you want to talk about something being disgusting or not right or whatever. What's not right is you being so pro-black, but not matching it with your actions in your own community.
But I think. Let me ask you something. Let me ask you a question.
Hold on,
because
it's like literally.
Go ahead.
The other day, because I'm a case manager and I work in Baltimore City. I work for a nonprofit. I also direct after school programs.
You're breaking up.
Look.
I'm sorry. You hear me?
Okay. Yeah, you broke up.
I know. I said I work in the inner city, and this is not. I love these discourses, and I'm telling you, I love being the face of that's disgust. I love that. Like, it gives you so much more juice because literally, the other day I was walking the streets until my knees were almost dead, giving out food, knocking on doors, hitting doors, telling people, just thanking them for allowing the building that I secured within the organization that I work for so that we can have after school programming in those communities. So I love it. And it gives me more fuel to do what I need to do for my people. So when you're saying all of those things, and Allahu Alam, if you're in the streets and you're doing those things and you're upset because that's disgusting and all of those other things, the first thing you have to remember is that, like Sister Khadija said, I'm Muslim.
Oh, she's fading. I guess. I think one thing, Khadijah, are you still there?
I mean, okay. And
Go ahead.
I love it. And if I need to come on each time so that people can say what let's get it out. And that's the thing with us as people. We don't get
one
stuff
thing
out.
I do, I agree with you on that. Let's get it out.
Get it
Here's what I said. And I asked all of y'all. You know, when I talk about this, let's move away this hot topic for 1 second. Just give me 1 second to, right?
Khadija, I appreciate the love.
I know. See, Khadija, you got another fan. When you blow up, don't forget a brother. It was here where you got your start.
But that's the thing. When we blow up, we're all blowing up together. Like, this is not a half.
Here, let me say this though, right? What we got to learn in community, right? We family. And in family, we're not going to see things the same, right? And what we have to do ourselves is, even if we in it, learn to take ourselves out of it to see other people's views, even if we in it. So for instance, everybody know I'm totally opposed to Wahhabi thought. That's not a secret, right? So every time I go on here, I expect that somebody's going to come on and be like, you Ash'ari deviant, man of Bid'ah, Sufi. I'm expecting that, right? I'm never going to be offended. Let's engage. You can call me a grave worshiper. It don't make me no difference. Let's discuss why you think I worship graves. Because when we finish, it's going to be a learning lesson. I promise you that. If you think I'm a twirling dervish, let's discuss why you think that, right? Once we get it out, then we can deal with it. And I guarantee you, at the end of the day, when we finish, my people are going to be educated. When we finish, when we're done, you call me all the names you want. Hey, go ahead. I need you to get that out because I want you to express yourself.
Please and thank
you. As long as it ain't mean-spirited, I mean, because that's your energy. That's why I say I like being black. I come from the projects. Do you know what a basketball game sounds like in the projects? You know what a discussion over a rap artist sounds like? Right? Man, you ever been to a boxing match with a bunch of black folks together? You know what that sounds like?
I like coming to these discussions because it reminds me of being in a bar shop or it's just
all right. We got another elder coming in. Somebody asked me, how do I know which one is older and younger? Because I know this Khadija and you told me how old you were.
Yes.
Another elder coming in. Somebody asked me, how do I do it? You got to fix your thing. It ain't going to work. Khadija, and you told me how old you were.
Yes.
Another elder coming in. Somebody asked me, how do I we went through this again. You got to fix your mic. You got to fix that issue. We can't have you if you can't fix it. I don't know, whatever you did the last time, you got to do it again or it's going to mess up everything. Okay. So, but I just say this, what I just wanted to say, try your best not to get personal, even if it's personal. Is that better? So, you're good. Hold on 1 second. Say this, Edie. The what I just wanted to say. Nah, it ain't working. Try your best not to get personal, even if it's personal. Is that better? So, you're good. Hold on 1 second. Say this. The what I just wanted to say. Nah, it ain't working. Sayyid Abdul Hadi is not working. That's all I'm saying. So you're going to hear some stuff. Do a Jay-Z. Bust your shoulders off. Yeah. Sayyid Abdul Hadi is not working.
Yeah, the thing is that
Abdul Hadi, your speaker system is not working. It's very distracting. It's distracting. I'm sorry, Habibi. We got to figure out to get it how to work.
Yeah, the thing is that
Abdul Hadi, your speaker system is not working. It's very distracting. All right. Distracting. All right. I'm sorry, Habibi. Nah, so we got to figure out to get it how to work.
Yeah, the thing is that
Abdul Hadi, your speaker system is not working. It's very distracting. All right. Go ahead, Khadija.
My thing is that even if it seemed like by the way I'm talking, I just talk passionately like that. Like I'm not, the thing is, I don't take it personally. Even if someone else may take what I say personally, I don't take what they say personally. What I do is I bring humanity into the conversation. So, but the thing is that when one of us Black people succeed, we open, like we give access to the rest of us. So that's why I agree with the whole, like, when one of us succeed, all of us succeeding, because we now have that access to what we previously didn't have that access to. And so we all can get it, if we all put in the work.
Okay, but y'all also welcome. I opened it up. We got like 10 minutes, and I gotta go.
Comments.
The last,
Go ahead, Issa.
Those comments. Wow, I was just laughing at the comments. They
It's
off the hook.
Alhamdulillah, it's us.
No, they was getting at you too a little bit jokingly.
With me?
They're just playing. Some of your fellow roundtable Imams is clowning you a little bit.
Hey, bro, I'm open for it.
No, but
Khadija, your mic is muted. The sister Khadija from Baltimore. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Issa.
That issue, we black people still gonna marry black, and statistically that's how it is, you know what I mean? So that's really like a little side issue. I mean, it's not as important, you know what I mean? And people have their issues and stuff like that. But black people are gonna continue to marry black Muslims are going to continue to marry black Muslims. We have to figure out, how to, to be more effective at doing it, and a lot of people need a lot of self-work, like you said, we family. We got to help each other out, as much as we can to get people the help that they need. Get people the proper understanding of the deen that they need. That's the beautiful thing about this platform like that. We've been lied to. Like,
Mr. Charlie's?
Huh?
Farouk, you at Mr. Charlie's?
No.
Farouk.
Farouk want to come on here?
But maybe, you know what?
I love.
I think this is an important conversation. I mean, and I think all these things are important, right?
I can't wait.
It's part of our collective healing. Go ahead. What you say, Khadija?
I said I can't wait to see the comments because it's so amazing. Like I've been divorced and I've been looking not and like Khadija said, looking sometimes you don't get, but you search for someone because that where your heart belongs. And I knew where my heart belonged. I just knew where I was. But the reason why I love when people do that is because, like I said, you get it out. So now we get to the gist of what we need to get to in the community. Because you were concerned with, and I can't wait because I'm going to look at the comments and I'm going to laugh at them and not laugh in a bad way, because Issa, when you were saying that we have, our things and there are bigger things to be concerned with, if we don't get those little things that we're concerned with, those big things are not going to be addressed. So if I have a thorn in my side, if I have to go out and work, that thorn is going to continue to bother me, and it's a small thorn. So let's pull the thorn out. I'll be the whipping boy for that. I'll be the spokesperson for I went outside of the race and now I'm back. And so now throw eggs at me, do all of that stuff. But now what are you going to do to build on our cooperative economics? What are you going to do to have workshops for marriage classes so that we do stay married? Because even if you're in a good marriage, you still need to have counseling so that you can stay in a good marriage. What are we going to do to teach financial literacy? What are we going to do to ensure the mental health of our people within the religion, where you have people telling you there's no such thing as mental illness in Islam? Islam itself, no, but we are people. So when we get that thorn out, so y'all go ahead, put the eggs on Khadija, put the eggs on me. But I'm telling you now, I'm going to be on the podium and I'm going to be speaking and I'm going to be talking about the ills that we need to correct so that we can be self-sufficient. We can have our own residual income. We don't have to go outside of the community. We can pay our imams and our sheikhs so that they don't have to go to work. We can do all of that stuff. So you
Khadija
telling
for
me
mayor.
you
Khadija for
so
mayor.
you telling me you're upset that I married outside of my race? Man, get out of here. We got
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, Khadija, hold up. Can I be your campaign manager? Hey, Imam
I want
Naeem.
Khadija.
Imam Saeed. We got to get
Because she
Khadija.
came up on me. She came right behind me as soon as, because I saw her. As soon as all those things started popping up, I didn't see them. But she was like, oh, nah. So I'll take Khadija. You guys can just be the security. Y'all be our security.
Oh, we got to be security. We too stupid to do something else, right? We just got to stay in guard, right?
You're the protectors and maintainers. Look, and we going out there, we doing what we got to do.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't saying dismiss the small things, because I was talking about looking internally, you know.
I didn't think you were, but somebody out there in, I'm going to type and be the type in gangster land felt that way. So I was just advocating on behalf of my African-American, Black, my brown, my Nubian brother. So I was just advocating. Somebody out there probably was thinking that.
But listen, it's all good, because guess what? Here's one thing I've noticed, and I pay attention to this. And I was telling one of my teachers this yesterday. I think it was yesterday. I said, and he's not African-American. And I said, listen, we got special stuff. All the stuff me and you be doing, our people are not interested in that, not at this stage. The stuff we study, most of our people are not interested at all, period. The stuff we study with our teachers, the stuff we do regularly, our people are not interested in. And our job is to get them to a point where they solve and work out what they're interested in to get to what they need. Because like you said, that thorn in the side sometimes is the thing that we're interested in, right? Mm-hmm. And what I notice is when we talk about what people are interested in, boom, it blows up. If I go too religious, too textual, it sizzle right on out, right? So what that tells me is what? That we got some thorns we need to work out.
Yeah.
And once we can work out those thorns, when you can see, I'll give you an example. I've been divorced. It was always the other people's fault. Just remember that, just in case, right? Just to make that clear. But you know what? Every woman that I had a divorce with, and I've had more than one, we don't have a bad relationship between us. Not one, right? Not one. There's pain, maybe, yes. But someone asked me, how do they all come to the masjid still? I said, because I never hold nothing against them. And they never hold nothing against, we just didn't work. That's life. But we understand something more important than that, all of us. We got work to do, right? Regardless of what me and you went through, we got work to do, right? And that's consistent. And people said it to me. They come to, you was married to her? Yeah, that used to be my wife. I thought she was your wife. No, used to be my wife. Because we understood that, right? Mm-hmm. It ain't always going to work. That's life. But we still got a collective job we got to do.
Yeah.
Right? We have a collective job that we have to do.
Yeah, personally.
And if we understand that as a community, I just speak it as an individual, but as a community, we will understand that we'll get through this stuff with ease. Go ahead. Let's see if I can do Sayyid Abdul Hadi, because he's waiting to talk. Did you fix your AOL?
I think I did.
Okay, you sound good. Go ahead.
Okay. I just got in here really. What's this conversation about? I thought I heard something about dowry, and then I heard something about the marriages in and outside of the race. So what is the basic premises of the conversation? What was the scattered thought? I mean,
Oh, the scattered thought started off about the Black Imams Roundtable. So this
oh,
is like
okay.
a carryover. So
Oh,
that was one of the. I had several issues, but you know us. Once we get it, we get a hold of something, we go.
okay,
So,
because I did put in a comment. I heard something about a $1,000 dowry or something to that effect. So I
yes,
put in a comment that said that actually the way the verse reads, and give the women a free gift
right.
for marriage. You know what I mean? And the hadith states that when the man wanted to marry and came to the Prophet ﷺ and asked for the girl's hand, Prophet said, "What you got?" The man said, "I'm poor, I got nothing." Prophet said, "Well, you got to give something. Can't give it out a dowry." Sent the man to the family. He came back and said, "Man, my family poor." Prophet said, "No dowry, no marriage. Class, you know." But as the brother walked away, Prophet, peace be upon him, called him back and said, "Listen, what you know of the Quran?" He said, "I know such and such story." He said, "Okay, teach her that." So in other words, the way the hadith reads it's another one that says something to the effect of anything from a ring of iron to a heap of gold is your dowry. Now, I like to make mention of this, but it don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing to nobody except me. I married a couple one time, and he gave the woman a $7 food coupon. Remember the food coupons? Remember
Yeah.
food stamps in the paper? He gave the woman a $7 food coupon book. And that must have been 76, 77, something like that, right? They're still married today with grandchildren. I went to a wedding one time, about 1979, 80, like that. And the man gave the woman, he put a diamond ring on her finger. He gave her $500 in cash. He gave her the receipt of a washing machine that he just had put in his own home. The marriage lasted less than a year. So the point being that in actuality, and I say this from experience, I think that people have to be on the same page with themselves, period. You know, my wife and I have been married for 54 years. I became a Muslim in February. She became a Muslim in April. We had known one another, and the night she took Shahada, we got married. That was 54 years ago, you know, and we've raised 7 children, and we have 31 grandchildren and 31 great grandchildren inside the deen by Allah's permission. And when people say, what's the secret? Ain't no secret. First thing is we're on the same page. You got to be on the same page with your spouse. The second thing is you have to really realize that it's never really 50-50, because sometimes, even though the man has responsibility, sometimes it may be a situation where if he loses his job, she has to step up. She gets pregnant. He has to step up on double time. So it's never really 50-50. It might become 60-40 or 70-30 somewhere along the line. But the most important thing is you always have to keep a law in the picture. Unfortunately, and I say this now because I am a convert, I am a revert. Unfortunately, what most do that are reverts, what happens is soon as something goes down that goes against our nafs, we'll merely revert to that aspect of our lives. You'll hear a woman say, "Listen, I know man can have more than one wife, but if my husband gets another wife, I'm getting a divorce." You know, things of that nature, you know what I mean? So that was what I heard on that particular aspect. Now, where you are now, like I'm saying, it takes me long to get this mic, but I think I figured it out, Imam. I mean, what happened is when I go on my computer and I go on YouTube, when I see the link and I put the link up, I'm still on YouTube. So I went to a chat to find out how to do that. And they said, "You got to close out YouTube."
Syed, where are you at? In New York?
No, I'm in Philadelphia, man.
You in Philly? Where at in Philly?
I'm in West Philadelphia. I go to Marshall Mujahideen. Imam.
Okay, we gotta have a serious talk, especially about this 54-year marriage, because we need some lessons. No, seriously.
Well,
Like,
you know what I mean? I go to Marshall Mujahideen, which is right
okay.
around the corner from Osage Avenue,
Right.
which is why Imam Asim tells me, you know him, Saeed. He said, you know what I mean? He come into this mosque plenty of times. You know him, because I'm one of the founding fathers of this. I've been up there since 1984. You know what I mean? Imam Asim, I've been praying together since 1972. So, he said,
So we got to have a real talk. Hey, do me a favor. You on Facebook, right?
Yeah, I got a Facebook page. In fact, I just sent you, I think I just sent you a friend request.
All right, could you send me your phone number? I want to talk to you.
On Facebook?
Yeah.
How you do that? How you do that? Send a message? What do you do?
Just send a message and put your phone number.
All right.
I would put my phone number out there, but I can't stand no more calls.
But you think I want to put mine out there, man?
But it's gonna come directly to me.
Yeah, I'll get with you. I'll get with you, Mama. I definitely get with you.
Because we come into Philly, but I want to meet with you.
I'm going to see, inshallah, I'm going to see you because I'm trying to figure out what is on South 23rd Street. I've been around this city a long time, and I know where the mosques are.
I think that's some like community center or.
Okay.
I mean, that's what it looked like, but it got several things going on there.
Oh, okay.
It's a nice space, but I think it's like a community center or something.
Yeah, that may be something.
And there's multiple reasons for that, but inshallah, we'll work it out.
When you said the address, I said, wait a minute, man, you got a new mosque in town? I don't know.
Nah, it ain't a masjid. There's a lot of things that we got to work out that gonna take time. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I understand that taking time, man.
This stuff ain't gonna happen overnight.
Listen, Rasulullah received revelation for 23 years.
Yeah.
For 23 years. So I mean, and he was a messenger of Allah. So Allah can do what he do. Allah can say be and it be, right? So
my crew is like, it's time to end this. You got other responsibilities, pal. Right?
Congratulations. That's not the new one.
No.
Congratulations.
So he now the new one is with the mother. So he's like, hey, my turn.
Hey, just to say this, my brothers and sisters, I just buried one of my great-granddaughters' son, right? But my other granddaughter just had a son. So, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, Allah is most kind, most merciful. Alhamdulillah. So
all right, I gotta go. Inshallah, we'll see y'all later on. May Allah reward y'all. Thank y'all all for y'all support and participation. It's a beautiful having this online family that we can relate and talk with one another. May Allah reward you all, inshallah. And let me put up for Saturday. I forgot. Saturday we'll be in Philadelphia. All of the Black Imams and others on Saturday the 27th. That's 11 a.m., not 11 p.m. 11 a.m. to 5. 1201 South 23rd Street, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. They said that's an old library. I wasn't aware of it, but inshallah, so we'll see some of you there, and we'll see y'all maybe tomorrow, inshallah ta'ala. Barakallahu fikum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Khadija, we got your CV. I just didn't get a chance to look at it yet, but I did get it. Okay, barakallahu fikum.